All right, y'all. It's Friday. It's Friday. We off work. Hey, I got my boo. Is back, y'all. He is back. I felt the need for us to have another conversation, and I don't even think I really even knew what we were going to talk about. But I was like, he got to come back. We had it. We have to do another episode. So this is. I'll let him introduce himself to you again. And then we'll take it from there.
Pop, 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 pop. It's your boy Big Papa, aka Big C, never the little one. Big C on the mic. Nah, it's your favorite person's favorite person, aka Debonair Davis in this piece. You can follow me on all socials. Nah, not really, but you can follow me on Instagram at Debonair_Davis. I'm in the
Okay.
building.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you. So I think when I was coming up with concepts or like podcast episodes, colleges or education is always something that I think about. Because I did go to college a few times, and just I know it's an important.
Behold!
If behold, is that okay? The illustrious Norfolk State University. Okay. Um, So I just always like to think or like to get other people's perspective on education, especially higher ed. With COVID and the way that the work environment has changed, it's like, what are your thoughts? Like, I like to know other people's thoughts on it. So, Mr. Debonair has a role or has had roles in higher ed. So, I want to know, like, have you seen any changes from your position, like where you sit? Have you seen any changes in education? What do you think is the state of higher ed? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Feel like that's such a heavy question to place on me, little old me. I mean, I'm nobody's professor or dean of students
Mm-hmm.
or provost.
Mm.
However, um, I don't know that I feel like in conversations that I've had with people that are around my age group, so I guess in the millennial age group, um, I think that I've seen a change in that regard. And when I say that, I think that we as a group, or at least the people that I know, look back and sometimes say, well, hey, did I necessarily need to spend that money or be in this debt that I'm in that I owe Uncle Sam forever? I mean, 20 years if you're in public service, thank God. But um, I don't know. I don't know that the emphasis that was placed on it by
Mm-hmm.
our parents and our
Mm-hmm.
grandparents and how this is an opportunity. I don't
Mm.
know that it's the opportunity that we necessarily thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically now, looking at the younger folks coming up behind us, like I have nieces that are 22 and around that age where
Mm-hmm.
we see people that are on social media like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be an influencer when I grow up. What you mean? Go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
school, be in
Yeah.
business, be a doctor. No, I'm gonna be online. I'm gonna be doing this and I'm gonna be making my money that way. And let's not
Yeah.
negate that people are out here making
Let's
money.
not.
Um, so I mean, I guess it just depends on really what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But I think that to answer your question, I think that the idea of school and what school can provide you, the
Mm-hmm.
security that it provided before is not the security that it provides now.
I would agree. I think our parents kind of pushed us, and probably their parents too, because that was what it was. It's like that was the dream. It's like if you go to school, then you're going to have a good life. Like you're going to be able to afford X, Y, and Z. And in theory, yes, you can, but it comes with so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, there there's a more strategic way to go about attending university or a college, I think. I just wasn't privy to that. Um, that's what it was.
I don't think I was privy to that as well.
Mhm.
I think that growing up in a less fortunate setting,
Mhm.
I will quickly say growing up poor because I mean
Mhm.
we were on the verge of poor, if not poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me, um, it also I think goes along with it. Sorry, this does go with this. That just sounded weird the way I set
Mhm.
that up, but it goes along with what does success look like. Um,
Mm.
I think that some people equate success with, oh, look at me, I can throw, MBA or DBA
Mhm.
or MD behind my name. Now I'm successful, but I'm also carrying all this debt behind me. And that's not
Yeah.
everybody's story. Granted, like some people were
Uh-huh.
able to go through school, didn't have no loans behind them, and now you live in the American dream. But
Mm.
that's not the case for everybody. I
Mhm.
know for me specifically, I did what I thought I had to do. I went into
Yeah.
a field that I thought would make me money. And I
Mhm.
knew that I had to go to school to make that money.
Yeah.
Um, and then having graduated undergrad and actually started working, I was like, I don't even know that I really want to be in this field.
Yeah.
Now I done wasted this time and
Mhm.
this money. That's
Yep.
this money ain't going nowhere. This money didn't say, "Oh, you changed your mind. All right, well, I'm gonna go into my shell and disappear." Like, nah, like this is money now that I've
Yeah.
spent and that's gonna follow me and it's
Mhm.
still following me. That I have to
Currently, it's right here. It's
listen.
here.
Every paycheck, it's like, hello, but and they're still following me. But what?
Mhm.
But what? I guess what does success really look like? And I think that for those of us, and I can't speak for all of us that I say are us in terms of people that necessarily grew up poor or were
Mhm.
less fortunate. But I think my parents pushed the goal of go to school, so that you can be better than what we are. Because I come from a family who my parents didn't go to college,
Mhm.
so like that was never a thing for them. But
Yeah.
in this country in which we reside, we put an emphasis on, go to school and go to school after school. And
Mhm.
then you'll have these careers that make money. I actually won't
Mhm.
forget when I was doing my MBA program and one of my professors was like, she was like, there's no way that you all should graduate and make less than $60,000 when you leave this program. Well, who graduated with their MBA and was making less than $60,000?
Me.
Me too.
Me. Yeah.
So I just feel like we have this outline of what it looks like and what it
Mhm.
sounds like, but that's not the way it necessarily fills out in the end. And I think that's a lot of our stories.
It
Um,
is.
and again, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that for people in my circle and just random
Mhm.
folks that, you end up having
Mhm.
conversations with people and it's like that ends up being the situation. I have this degree that I don't even need. As being someone now who's in human resources, I could have thrived a long time ago off of certificates and been just fine. But I thought I wanted to be a hospital
Mhm.
administrator because there's money in that. And I took a little
Mhm.
survey when I was in high school and it said, this is what will fit your, what you want to do. And this will make you money. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm going to be. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even like this.
Yeah. I think, but things have shifted even from us being out of high school, even from us being out of like undergrad. Things have shifted so much because I think that back in the day, I say probably before 2000, right? That was the way it was like if you went to school, you were almost kind of guaranteed to be able to have a job that provided you with enough income to be able to sustain that you aren't broke. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get out, when you graduate undergrad, and I'm an advocate for higher education. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that there's a strategic way that you can get through school. But once you graduate from undergrad, you realize that wow, it costs a lot to just live the bare minimum lifestyle. And when I say bare minimum, I mean like have a one bedroom apartment, have a car payment, groceries, money for like leisure. cell phone bill. Like, I mean, like the basic, just, I just need this to live. I'm not talking about somebody taking trips to Dubai, facials every week. The bare minimum, it costs a lot. And so you start to realize, like, wow, like, I need more. I need more. So, and it really does depend on what success looks like to you. Like, is success making a certain amount, or is it being financially free? Is it both? Is it being happy? Is it
Well,
being
what is happiness?
it's subjective, I think. I think
Absolutely.
yeah, cuz some people are just like, we can go on about this, but I'm just like some people are like, as long as I feel like I've accomplished certain things, then I'm good. I don't care what it costs. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going back to school anymore. I'm good.
I think that some people though really do thrive on not just like what we call formal school, like formal education in terms of like
Mhm.
I have a degree, but like
Mhm.
even certificates and things. And like I want to always make sure that I'm doing something, that I'm always learning something, that I
Mhm.
can always attribute my learning to now. Oh, look, I have this that I can say that I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. And I get
And
it.
while that's not my story, I do. I can
Mine
appreciate
either.
anyone whose story that is, but for
Uh-huh.
me, I don't. That doesn't do anything for me anymore.
So, you know what? And I don't know if it's because both of us have gone to undergrad, both of us have earned an MBA, and we're just like, that we feel like, I don't need you to know that I have any type of degree, to be honest. Like, I feel like the work is show for itself. Like, my work, like, if needed, right? If I'm trying to get a job, I'm networking with somebody who needs to know credentials, then we can have a conversation. But I don't feel the need to tell. I've been to school, and I
Mm-hmm.
done. I don't. It was good while I was there. It was a blessing, but I don't feel the need to like tell people all of that.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I agree, and I don't know that my story is the same because I can't say that I will say that it was good while I was there, but
mhm,
I can follow that too. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I guess I think it. I feel like sometimes it's also position specific,
mhm,
industry specific, I guess I should say. Like, what are we doing? Because I think about even in high school,
mhm,
courses that we were all forced to take, and like, I don't use biology. I ain't touching no algebra. Like, there are things that I will never use again in my life. But y'all was
mhm.
forcing me to get these good grades to go to college
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then maybe not use that information in college and damn sure not use it after college in real life. So I guess
Mhm.
depending upon what industry you're going into, I think that in the
Yeah,
sciences and in tech, yes, that is important. And that information that you learn does carry you through. But in other industries, I don't think that's always the case.
yeah, yeah. I think it's also good to have like a mentor, or just have like a circle of people that you can say, hey, my daughter, my niece, my nephew, they are in this grade, they're looking at X, Y, and Z. Can you kind of mentor them and let them see what you do, give them some pros and cons? Like, those are things that I feel like when you come from a certain background or socioeconomic status, you don't have access to those type of things. You don't have that pipeline of your parents, your aunts, your uncles who are in certain industries and can kind of give you that leg up. Like, one big thing in college that, like, I feel like was such a benefit was internships. I got so much experience from completing internships, so it let me know, like, okay, this is how the work environment is. Even though I was still a little green to it, but I was like, okay, like, I had to get up, be to work by 8. Had an hour lunch, working in the accounting department. Like, I was like, I'm really grown. Like,
Yeah.
I'm grown, but that was a good experience. If I could segue, unless you were going to say something.
No, I mean, I was to follow up what you just said. I
Mhm.
was just going to say, like you mentioned, I think what you were leading into. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity.
Mhm.
Um, so while I also had some decent, well, very good actually internships, and paid internships at that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do believe for me that was also my eye opener to this is not what I want to do. But then how do I
Mhm.
pivot to figure that out? But now because I'm already stuck in a program. You know what I mean? So where
See,
do I go?
well, you know what? And that's why I feel that there's a need for mentorship. Like I'm not saying mentors are like the end all be all, but you were you really stuck? You know what I'm saying? And I just say that because I think when you declare a major, it's just like, okay, I got to do this, I got to see this through. When in all actuality, it's okay if you're just like, I know, I'm in the middle of this program, but this isn't what I want to do. And to have somebody kind of sit down with you and be like, okay, well, if you go to a community college and take these classes, which are cheaper, then you could pivot and get into like another major. Or like, once you think about looking at this, like it's school. It's not like having kids, like a decision that you just can't take back.
Yes.
Say what you're gonna say,
No,
Charlie.
no, I wasn't gonna say any. I mean, I was gonna say something, but no, I hear what you're saying. I think that we're going to the same point. We're just getting there a little differently. Um,
Okay.
because for me, I feel like, well, yes, it is school. It's not a full blown commitment. There
Mhm.
is but let's not forget, there's a financial piece to this.
There is.
I had to
There is.
fight, I had to compete for the spot that I got to get into this school.
That's true.
So what happens now that I change my mind? Do I lose the scholarship, the little piece of money that I'm getting because I came into this program for this, or came to the school for this program? Like, what does that look like? I think that there are also other factors associated with that. But we're
Mhm. It is.
winding even to after high school or even during high school. No disrespect to anybody who's a guidance counselor. But I just wonder if, and not even on them, but do they have the resources that they need to really guide and counsel us to put us in the right places? I remember, am I allowed to give names? I don't know. It don't matter because nobody when I went to high school. But I remember my counselor, Miss Lobiando, who was beautiful, Italian lady, very pretty. But but like I don't know
Mhm.
that we really had that much interaction in terms of,
Mhm.
well, and this is what you should do. Thankfully, well, I guess thankfully and not thankfully because it didn't. I still ended up shifting my career, but I was in Upward Bound, so I feel like I had that second piece to help me
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
But I think for someone who's not in Upward Bound is just solely hoping on the guidance from their guidance counselor,
Mhm.
when you have this guidance counselor who's trying to support 300 plus students, and that's not necessarily fair to them either because I don't have the time or the resources to provide for all of these students. So someone's going to end up missing out on something.
Mhm.
For me personally, I feel like there should be the point in between. Like we as children, because that's what we
Mhm.
are when you're asking us to decide. Because
Mhm.
for real, let's think about it. When it comes to college, we're saying at damn near eighth grade, really, because when you get in high school, you need to be moving toward
Mhm.
you need to do
Mhm.
well so you can get these scholarships. You need to do well so
Mhm.
this college will look at you and be like, oh, you can get in here. We'll accept you. You can come here.
Mhm.
And
We'll
so
accept you, you
now,
peasant.
listen, you not standard, so you can come on and be with us. But from that point, I'm in eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, trying to decide what
Mhm.
I want to do for the rest of my life.
I know. I
Like
know.
that's crazy to me. I'm a
Mhm. It
child
is.
trying to determine what I need to do for the rest of my life. So I feel like there shouldn't be so much enforcement enforcing on, oh, graduate high school, now go to college because you know what you
Yeah.
want to do for the rest of your life. There
Yeah.
should be a little, and we need an in between phase of the mentorship, of the
Mhm.
let me dibble and dabble and see what this
Mhm.
looks like. okay, now I think this is a field that I would like to do. Now
Yep.
I can go to school to hone those skills and then be
Mhm.
greater at what I'm doing. But to go forth and not only that I'm deciding that for the rest of my life, but I'm attaching a price tag to it. Because now
Listen,
I also have to pay for this.
Charlie. Now, this is from me going through the experience and now looking back, hindsight. I think it's set up that way. Because there is such a high price tag on education. I think it's, to be honest, I think it's set up for us to think that, okay, at 16, 17, 18, choose a school, right, that costs thousands and thousands of dollars when you really don't even have insight to choose what is best for you. Well,
Yeah,
I don't want to say that, but that's very early to be making such large decisions. And then if you
that's a
are,
monumental decision.
it
Yes, I agree.
is, it is, and if you are paying for the school, you're making a decision to put your credit on the line, and you don't even really know how credit works. You don't really understand interest rates. You don't really understand that more than likely you're not going to get a job that is paying enough for you to be able to rent, pay your car loan, cell phone bill, groceries, maybe disposable income, a little tithing offering if you have it, and pay back your loans. I think it's set up that way because we're a lot of us. I was ignorant. I didn't know. Like I
That's
didn't
a
know.
setup.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I just had this conversation with someone the other day.
Mhm.
Wait, am I allowed to say on here? It doesn't matter. But someone told me to tell you hello. But anyway, yes, I just
Uh.
had, actually not the other day, today, I
Okay.
just had this conversation. And we had this conversation frequently about, well, I'm adding this piece to it. But instead of you teaching me about biology, teach me about credit. Teach me about debt. Teach me about,
Well,
give me a
taxes.
finance class.
Let's
All of
do
it.
it.
Because
Mhm.
these are the things that really are helping us be
Mhm.
successful. Because, like
Mhm.
you said, yes, that probably is a setup. And honestly, I never thought about it that way until you just said that. But it's so true and it makes sense because now I'm caught up in this and I don't even know how to get out of it because no
You
one
don't
actually
even
gave me the
know.
proper tools.
Do you know? Okay, like I remember filling out the FAFSA form. Now there are some parents. Okay, now I feel like my friends who have kids, and it maybe if their kids are going to high school, I see the difference because their parents that they're like really involved. Like they're picking out the schools for their kids. Like they're looking at the FAFSA, and yes, you that is a great help to have somebody that is that is involved. But if you don't have that, right? If it's just you, your parents like, I'm tied up, I don't really know, I ain't never go to college, they could want to help you, but like they don't have the capacity to do that, right? And so making that decision, filling out my FAFSA form, I was like, gross income, I like it was a lot. But I remember freshman year signing the loans for for me to attend school. It was so easy. It was literally a click through a page, blue, 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 click through a page.
Yep.
So easy. Like we didn't have to take a financial counseling course, a credit course, nothing. That's why like when people talk about student loan debt, I'm like, do you not understand? Most people take out loans because we were told that this was our gateway out of the hood. So you're just like, oh well, I'm gonna do it because when I get out, I'm gonna be good. A lot of us didn't have people who are like I know people who are paying for their children to go to college, cash, cash. Who was doing that?
And that wasn't my story. That's for damn sure. And I was like you said, I was filling out my FAFSA again as
Yeah,
a child, trying to fill out something that my parents didn't know about. I mean,
yeah,
love them, but I mean, they didn't
yeah,
go through this. They don't know no better. I didn't know
yeah.
no better. I'm just like, I know I need some money, and somebody's giving me money. I'm taking it.
Yeah. Why would you think? why would you think anything negative of that if you haven't been exposed to what
Right.
credit is? You're like, they, this is what people do. They go to school, and then, okay, because when I took out loans or whatever, I really didn't know. That was my first time outside of the house of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay, even in college, you got to pay for your toiletries, your cell phone bill. Like, if you don't have somebody who's covering those things, that little refund check that you get, if you get it, that
If
is
you
what
get
paid
it,
for those things. So it's like, you really, if you want to go to school, if you want to choose that life, you taking out loans.
it's literally like I went to I forgot what school I called it, but it was like a summer institute, like a
Okay.
pre-college type deal.
Okay.
But I'm like, it's almost if you really need a pre-college. Honestly, you need a pre-life class, then college. You know
Yes,
what I mean? Like, I
you
need the
do.
just lessons of being an adult in this country. I need to know about mortgages. I need to know about rent. And especially if I live in this goddamn DMV, I need to know how to survive because shit is so goddamn.
Survival. Surviving being an adult. Adult
Listen,
survival
no, but for
101.
real. And then I can
Yes.
think about school and think about how that fits
Listen.
into, or you know what I mean. But like we laugh, but at the same time, like looking back, if someone had really educated me, and again,
Yeah.
was having this conversation today, just
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
credit card debt that I hold, I can speak to because I have it, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been in this situation had I known better. But it's like,
Yeah.
you get a credit card with a 16, $20,000 credit line, and you like, ooh, I got
Bullet.
money,
A
not knowing that.
bullet.
Listen, you paying on
A
that shit years
bullet.
later. Like I can't even tell you what the hell I put on this card that I'm still paying
See?
on. Probably some shoes
See?
from 5 years ago that I don't even have no more. You know what I mean? Like, but
It's
I
crazy.
it is crazy. So that's what I'm saying. Like the essentials
Mm-hmm.
we don't get, but you're forcing me
Mm-hmm.
to decide what I want to
Yeah.
do. When a lot of
Yeah.
us get into careers, I mean, I know people that are even older than, well, I guess about probably my age. But like I know, I listened to a podcast and the lady was talking about how she was a news anchor
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up one day saying, I don't want to do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up pivoting. But I mean, you went to school for this, you did this, and you've done some
Mm-hmm.
big time news things, and now you
Yeah.
realize you don't want to do this. And like, think about those of us, and I'm sure she put in some money into that. But like those of us that put in money into
Mm-hmm.
things, like into degrees that we don't necessarily
Yeah.
need. But I
Yeah.
went to school because I'm trying to make my parents proud because we ain't have nothing. I'm trying to
Mm.
let y'all know that
Mm.
we can go from not having nothing to something. But
Mm.
actually, I done took us lower than nothing because now I got all this shit behind me too.
I was trying. But look, I'm about to
I
put us deeper
tried.
in the
I
hole.
love you, mama. I'm
I
sorry.
love you, Ma.
I'm
B.O.B.
sorry,
Hold it
mama.
down.
Legally blind.
Listen. But that is like, that's a lot of people's story. That's a lot of people's story. It's like, you didn't know. You just assumed, like, I'm going to school. I'm going to have a better life. I'm going to be able to afford. And I think for people that came from a different life, perfect example. I was dating this dude, and his parents paid for him to go to college. So it was like scholarships, and then they paid for him to go to college. So his reasoning for wanting to go to school wasn't to get out the hood, right? It like his motives were different. So he looked at school completely different than I did. And I was like, I really thought that this is going to change my life. Like, I'm going to be in a better position. I'm going to be able to give back to my family. Um, when I have kids, like, we'll be set, like, we'll be good. And then it's just
And it
like,
didn't do that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm looking at your life like, I got you. I'm saying for me, it didn't do that. Like at
no,
this
you were
point,
spot
I
on.
feel like had had the financial education piece been attached
Mm-hmm.
to the career education piece,
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would be in for me. I'd be in a different situation, and
Yeah.
because of course people push home ownership too, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm not at a place to do that right now. I mean, I'd
Mhm.
like to get to in the next few years at least, but
Mhm.
I mean, there are people that I know that were set up differently than when I came up,
Mhm.
you know, that now are homeowners, people that are younger than me, people are coming up like fresh out of college and being like, oh, well, I own
Yeah.
this because my parents set this up for me or whatever.
Mhm.
But like, that's just never been my story. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
great if it was. Um, so we don't all share obviously the same
Mm-mm.
story, and then that puts some of us
No.
behind on the trying
Mhm.
to, get there.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Again, it just leads me to I don't know that school is necessarily the out that we are taught that it is.
It's definitely not. I do think that some form of education is needed. Because I can't even front like a lot of how I learned a lot in school, and I'm not gonna lie. And I think the reason why, not to toot my own horn, but I do so well at what I do is because of the things that I learned. So I can't throw that out. I can't throw that out. However, I think now you with the internet, with social media, you can take a course for business plan writing. You can take a course for how to work on your communication skills, and you can be in your living room with your PJs on doing that. Even when I was in college, like that wasn't even a popular thing for real. So now it's like I can take a PMP course and I don't have to go anywhere. I can take it on my schedule and it is what it is. And so now the kids that are coming up, they know they are privy to that. Like they like I know that I can take these courses and get this job. It's more transparent now. They know about credit because you can Google how
Yeah,
to build credit. If we were able to really do that, I guess we could have, but it's just it wasn't the information wasn't in your face like it is now.
right. No, I agree with that. Times have definitely changed. I think that well, I do believe though accessibility is has
Mhm.
increased, so that is
Mhm.
definitely a part of it. But just in terms of the society in which we live now,
Mhm.
that's changed because the conversations that people have now, people are more freely talking about, how's your credit score? Like,
Mhm.
are you thinking about getting a house? How much is your rent? How much do you
Mhm.
make? Like these
Okay.
are conversations that are happening now that
Mhm.
where before, what I guess were taboo, like, oh, you make how much, or how much do you make? And somebody's like, we in the same position, but I'm not telling you how
Mhm.
much I make. Now
Okay.
people are using that as leverage, like, oh, you make
Mhm.
60,000, I make 55, but we're in the same job. I'm either you need to give me more money or I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. Yeah.
So I think conversations are happening that weren't happening.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
definitely information available that wasn't available. So all of it plays a part. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. The lessons that we've learned. However,
The
take
lessons
me
that we
back.
learned. You said fuck school. Oh.
No. No. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why because me as a person, like I feel like college made me blossom. Right? I was able to kind of rebrand myself. Like I was so shy, didn't really get involved in things, and in that environment, I feel like it just came out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm.
was in the choir, secretary of this. Like this is like and I learned how to interact with different types of people of different religions, all in one space. And so, and it may have had something to do with the major
Or
that
going to an
I
HBCU.
yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So it was just like I learned so much other than statistics or other than biology, which I didn't like that class. That was an 8 o'clock
Or
class.
African American Studies 101.
Listen, art one on. I had an art class at 5 to 8. It was like once or twice a week. I would get in
Five
class
to
like this.
eight.
Yes, I'd be in there like this.
Why would you ever have an art class?
Oh, the professor, her voice was so soothing, so we would be in class like this.
Wait, what? I can't. The last art class I remember taking was in middle school. I've
It was
never taken an art class outside of that.
it was like art history. And
Mm.
in it, when I was taking it, I was like, it had to be my freshman year because I didn't even know how to like choose my own classes. I didn't know that I could drop a class and get into like another class. I didn't know how to do
Mm.
any of that. So I took an art history, and I was just like, what did I why am I in here? But it made me like really look at art like, wow, like what was the artist thinking and what era was this in and what is it made of? So appreciate it,
Mm. That's
to kind
fair.
of appreciate
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I had a great. I'm not even going to front. I had a great experience at Norfolk State University.
Behold the
Behold,
green and gold.
I had an amazing experience. So tell us about your experience, like, selecting the college, your first few days on the college campus. What was that like? Woo, woo.
If I could rewind, I think I would still rewind. I would rewind and not do what I did.
Ooh, okay.
Not only not and then not going to school. I
Mhm.
think that damn, somebody random. Sorry, it has nothing to do with nothing. But
Mm-mm.
I opened my window because it was so hot in here. Somebody is downstairs smoking. That smoke is just coming in here. But
Close,
um,
close your nose. Close your nose.
I'm trying, but I need that window because it's hot as hell in here. But I would definitely rewind, and I think that if I did go to school, it
Mhm.
would. I would need an experience among. I would want to be among my people. But on some real stuff, I don't. College was okay, and
Hmm.
I was also in the choir. I was the president of the choir. My little thing is right there.
Listen.
Um, but hey, lift every voice and sing. But no, I wouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
I feel like people often say, "Oh, I went to college and I found myself," or I learned
Mhm.
this and that, and I did that. I didn't just
Mhm.
learn the educational piece, but I learned how to
Yeah.
be just a person. How to be who I
Mhm.
was, and that was not my story. And I think because
Mm.
of that, I would rewind all of that and do it differently. I remember when I first went to school, I actually did, like I said, it was a summer institute. It was a what they call it, OMA, Office of Multicultural Affairs, had did a
Okay. Uh-uh.
like a summer institute for us, people of color.
Mhm.
Um, and so I ended up going to that beforehand, which was okay. But I, I,
Mhm.
I personally struggled with like trying to meet people or trying to make friends. And even though it was a small group, and I went to a PWI, so like you would think that those of us, that little tiny group of us that were people of color would stick together. But I feel like there was still such a divide, and I didn't quite
Mm.
know how to maneuver that. Being the the young ignorant boy from little old Delaware, little Lincoln, Delaware, a small town, went to school when I was the only black in my classes for the most part.
Oh wow.
And now I'm with people that look like me, and I'm like, oh, let's be friends. And you won't befriend me because you looking at me like I'm a stranger. But I also, a piece of that was a lot of them were from New York, like New
Mhm.
York City. So some of them knew each other, so they were piecing together that, and like I was the outsider in that regard. I just always felt like an outsider when it came to school. And
Mm.
so for me, yeah, no, college wasn't the, oh, yes, I would go back and do it again. Did I meet some good people? Yes. There's probably one or two people that I still talk to now. But honestly, my eye opener was going to grad school.
Mm,
And I feel like that's when I flourished and bloomed and understood life and
mm,
became an adult. And I feel like that's what molded me. But undergrad, no, I could bypass that part of my life.
wow. I'm gonna say this. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had that experience. I
Well,
really
I'm
am,
old as
cause
hell now. It don't matter.
yeah, but that was like for me that was very memorable. Like there was one time where I was going to switch schools and go to VCU because I wanted to do fashion merchandising. Like that's what I thought I was gonna do.
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh my God, I love Norfolk State so much. Like I can't leave." And I just really grew to love it. Love it, love it, love it. Like you couldn't talk bad about Norfolk State to me. I'm like, "How dare you talk about my school?" Like
Yeah, and that's beautiful.
it was a good experience.
I just didn't have. I don't have that story.
Okay. Craziest craziest college experience.
I think being in upstate New York as a black person.
Really?
No, no, no. Yes and no, but no. I don't know about craziest. I mean, I have memorables. I remember. So I was in upstate. I went to Ithaca. Am I allowed? I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't want nobody.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, of
but no, no,
course.
no. I went to Ithaca College, and so we were in Ithaca, New York, upstate New York. We shared the city with Cornell University.
Mhm.
Um, and out of the 4 years we were there, this is upstate New York, so it gets cold, it gets snowy, it's good, all of those things. There was only one day out of those 4 years that we had actually had a snow day. But it snowed all the time. I mean, like when winter came, winter came.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and I remember we were stealing trays out of the dining halls and like sticking them in our coats and walking out with them so that we could use them to sled down on the campus roads because it was very hilly. Um, Another thing that I remember is, college parties. They're going to happen any and
Yes.
everywhere.
Ugh.
There was one off campus, and there was this lady. Well, I'm gonna say lady because she's a lady now, but back then she
Mhm.
was a student like us. But Pam had a house party. Had a house party, and she had it was in those big tubs that we would always buy as students and stick them under our beds, like the
Mhm.
big plastic bins. And of course, what was in there was liquor, and she called it pink
Yes.
panty juice.
Oh,
And I didn't drink. I remember always thinking about drinking, but I remember always hearing like my dad's voice. And I
oh
was like,
my
no, like
God.
I don't do that. Like I don't. But I remember I drank.
Oh, so good, Charlie. It's
I,
so
I
good.
tried to be. I
Oh
tried to
my
be.
God.
But I drank. And I remember the cops came in and busted up the party. And I'm sitting
Oh
on
my
the
God.
couch just drunk as a skunk. And the officer was like, "Sir, do you live here?" And I was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Well, you need to go." Because meanwhile, they were telling everybody they need to leave. I feel like I'm the last person in here sitting on this couch. And he's like, "Sir,
Ah.
you need to leave." So I had to mosey down like the back steps. And again, it was a hilly place. So like the steps going down were very narrow. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, "Well, please don't let me fall down these steps." My homegirl Shayla was there. And I guess we ended up riding home together in a taxi. And I remember waking up the next morning in my dorm, tucked in, comfortably in my little. I remember I had like these cheetah print sheets, but I was in my little
Okay.
cheetah print, and I'm like, who tucked me in? Like I don't even remember getting in here. And I remember I was like, Shayla, did you tuck me in? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, bro, what do you mean? And it wasn't until like weeks later she finally told me yes, it was her that tucked me in. But
Aw.
that and another drunk story. I remember calling my mom because um, I went to somebody's party on campus and
Hmm.
drank a little bit. You know, it didn't take much for me back then. Nowadays, I need a whole bottle, but it didn't take much. And I had taken some shots out of somebody's
Ooh.
titties, and then I'm
Yes.
walking back to like our main campus from the apartments, and
Hmm.
somebody was like, "Oh, are you from the islands for real, Cuda?" That's what they used to call me. And she was like, "Are you from the
Cool. That.
islands, Cuda?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm gonna call my mom and I'm gonna tell her. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I called
Oh
my
my God.
and I was like, "Ma, ain't we from Barbados or something like that?"
She knew what was up. She already knew.
Exactly. She was like, "What? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes, but can you tell these people I'm with that we from the island?"
Oh my
Oh man.
gosh. Oh my God.
But aside from that,
Ooh.
I will also say, like I said, I was in the gospel choir, so we actually
Hmm.
sang with Kirk Franklin at a
Yes.
performance we had. So I mean, there was some interesting times, but I could definitely bypass most of it. But yeah, I think in terms of interesting and crazy, my little drink times were probably the craziest.
Listen.
But I think it was a
Oof.
small little town, so I mean, there wasn't much going on for real. We made do what we had.
Oh,
I had a great
I.
boss, I'll tell you that, for my work study. Shout out to Marina Marion. I will shout out her. Marina was the
Listen.
best. I was so
Oh,
fortunate. Let me tell you. Oh, so actually, this is the
tell.
story. So
Okay.
when I
Hold on,
first
Charlie.
started,
I might have to. I can't even see you anymore. So hold on. Pause. Break. 1 second.
okay, I'm paused.
Are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I can
Okay.
still see me and you.
Ah,
It's me
hold
and
on,
you.
computer. Hold
Mm,
on.
mm, mm, mm.
Hold on, because I need to hear the story about Marina.
Marina was, oh man,
Eh,
she was so awesome.
Ah.
Let me text her right now, actually.
You still keep in touch with her?
Every once in a while, I'll text her, and it's crazy because she was older then. So sometimes when I think about older people, I'm like, I hate this sounds crazy, but I'm like, are they still alive? You know what I mean? But let me text her right now. Okay, this and it's been a year. The last text we had was from November of last year. Let me see. Hold on.
Aw.
I hope she is. She was
Aw.
crazy. She was a nut.
You loved her.
I did. That was a
See?
blessing. God looked out. God
Oh,
always looks out. You be in the
listen.
weird. Sometimes it takes a look back to be like, damn, that was really a lookout. But yeah,
Oh, jeez. Hold on.
calm down. I gotta go soon. The barber's waiting for
Okay.
me.
Who's
I mean, not
waiting?
soon. Not soon. Soon. I gotta go to the barber shop at 6:30.
Look, that's what I need to do too. Um, but he said he don't have any appointments for me.
Oh, wait, she texted
I
me
was like,
back. Ah!
did she?
She said,
Tell her to join the
"OMG, how are you
podcast.
doing?"
Tell her to
Yo,
join. We
Mama
talking about
Bill,
her.
can we get her on? Hey,
Yeah.
oh, Marina was a nut. She probably still is a
Ah,
nut. But,
dang. What is going
I'm gonna
on?
tell her I was just talking about you on this podcast, and I said, let me check on you. Side note, I got this window open.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. You muted.
Because he said it was still recording. I was like, I don't want, I'm sitting here talking to myself. I don't want to be in my business. But I was telling you, I'm over here having a whole conversation with Marina.
Listen, tell her she next. I'm gonna have her up here next.
She would love it too. She
Wish
is
you.
crazy. No, for real. She said enjoying retirement, cleaning a couple houses here and there. She said her granddaughter just had a child, so now she a great grandmother. She said, but
Look,
it's only a number.
I know that's right. Mm.
Oh man.
But I got to you got to the part when you were just like you loved her, you loved work study, and you had a story about
Oh
her for me.
yes. Well, yes, and
Mhm.
not just her though, all of them. So I
Mhm.
my initial work study job was in the dining hall, the terrace dining
Mhm.
hall.
Mhm.
And I remember it was fall of my freshman year. I got a
Mhm.
job. I had to take a job. I've always had a hustler spirit. Thank
Okay.
my daddy for that. Because I don't know about I didn't get that from my mama, but my thank my daddy for that. But I worked at the dining hall. I was in the damn kitchen washing dishes.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
just remember leaving that first night, and I got back to my dorm and I called my mom and I was like, I can't. I want to quit. You know what I mean? But I didn't come from a
Oh.
family of, well, we can
Mhm.
send you money. We can send you care
Mhm.
packages. We can take care of you. No, like I needed to work because I needed to
Mhm.
provide for myself, no matter how little bit it was.
Yep.
But I just remember my feet hurt. I stunk. Like I was like, I can't do this. And I applied for another job with Marina in conference and event services. And I
Mhm.
remember I interviewed and I got it. And I was actually doing both for a little bit. Had
Okay.
always had two jobs. But I had both jobs for a little bit, and then once the semester ended, I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't do this campus work.
Wow.
Put my ass in the office." And
Mhm.
I was there all 4 years, and Marina was there all
Wow.
4 years, and she was I don't know, she's Marina. She was just awesome.
Aw,
Older white lady, but crazy as a bed bug. Had worked at campus forever and
really?
just cool as hell. Yeah.
We've had similar. We were into similar things in college because I was in the gospel choir, which I adore. I had an amazing director, Junebug from North. No,
Not the
Junebug is
job, bug.
where's Junebug from? Sussex. He might be from Sussex or Pocosin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like very talented. Like he had us, a bunch of college kids on. We were on it. You hear me? Like
Mm-hmm.
on it. And so did that, and my work study job was in event, what was it called? Student, jeez, what was it? Not student services,
I don't know what y'all
student life
call
or student life or something like that. So all
it.
the
Mm-hmm.
events that happened on the campus had to go through this office for approval.
Mm.
Listen, I worked the front desk. I sit there, do my homework, and I had access to all the events. I would have to go clean up, help set up after them, put little posters up. Basically, I just walked around and talked to people and did my homework, ate the snacks, the snack room. Like I enjoyed, I enjoyed that position so much, and I stayed there the whole time. Like,
Yeah, when you get those good gigs, you don't let go of. Like
listen.
that, no.
Yeah, that was my
And
thing.
honestly, looking back, I don't even know how I got it. I know that again, like truly a hustler spirit. Like I'm gonna go
Mhm.
find something, and
Mhm.
I knew where I didn't want to be,
Mhm.
so I was like, I'm gonna go find something else that's more suitable for me because
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't be up in this kitchen washing these goddamn dishes.
It
That
was
wasn't my
so.
story.
I'm telling you, I was like, this fits me so well, and I think that's the only one. Because I think for us, we didn't have to interview. It's just like whoever had availability to take you, you just
Mm.
went there. Like, so some people were in the library, some people were in like accounting office or whatever. But I enjoyed it. I used to make my little coins in there. Like, no issues at all. That was fun. That was fun.
One thing I was gonna do was make a check.
Uh, mhm.
Even
Boy,
now, I'm gonna make a check. That's why I got two
listen.
jobs now. I'm gonna make a check. That's not two. But
What piece of
yeah,
advice? What piece of advice would you give to someone considering college?
don't do it, Miss Seeley. Don't do it. No. On a serious note, what
Mhm.
advice would I give someone? I think I'd really just say take a moment. Like, what do you think about what you're going to college for? And
Mhm.
I think that's a loaded question for
Mhm.
the age of which we're expecting people to go to college.
Mhm.
Um, but really, because it's a commitment.
Mhm.
And this is one of those things where I feel like it's difficult to convey the importance of it
Mhm.
until you've been through it. And now I look
Yeah.
back and I'm like, damn, well, I wish I could have told
Mhm.
so and so. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to tell so and so, but people don't
Mhm.
get it until it actually
Mhm.
happens to them.
Yep.
But definitely, like, what are you going for, and what is the outcome that you're expecting?
Mm.
Because and sit down and talk to people. Conversations are important because while I may not be able to get my point across, is what I'm trying to tell you and what I want you to understand. If you can talk to somebody else who did go to college, somebody who didn't go to college, somebody else who's thinking about college,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
I just get as much perspective as you can out of it
Mm. Mhm.
from other
Yep.
people because obviously
Yep.
you have none because you haven't been there yet.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but again, just pause and really think: is that what I need? Is that what
Mm.
I want? Is that
Mm.
why am I doing it? Am I doing it
Mm.
because I feel like I can, graduate and make at
Mhm.
least 60,000? Which now we need to bump that up because you need to make at least more, and don't live up here because you need to really make more. But what does that look like for you, and what is the outcome you're expecting?
I would agree. I would agree because I think that there are some things that you just won't understand or even think to like even grasp the magnitude of what somebody's saying until you go through it because you don't see it as relevant. You like,
Yeah,
oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They went a different route. But there's always like it's wise to kind of listen to people's perspectives. Like even if you're just like, I'm gonna do what I need to do. It is what it is. Okay. But I
but
think it's
sometimes
like
you're doing more than what you need to do. You're making it more
listen,
than what it
yep,
is.
yep. That's what I'm saying. And it's just like there's always a reaction. There's always there's always a consequence for something. So like you could be going about it the wrong way or like a less efficient way. And that's my thing. If you're gonna go, take a step back and know why you want to go. Do some research. Like things are more accessible now. Look at that return on investment,
Does
right?
your field even really require it?
Does it, right? Like that's my thing. And I'm just like, if the money is not money and for you, don't feel pressure. Like a degree does not define you. It does not indicate that you are successful. It just doesn't. So just know that you can get the information you need in different ways.
No, I agree. And I don't know that, excuse me, just having had conversations with my niece, who again is, she's in her senior year, but I'm thinking in those conversations I've had, I don't know that the importance of like finishing school and making sure
Hmm.
that you go to school is
Hmm.
necessarily there as much as it was when we were in high school or in coming
Hmm.
out of high school. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like you know younger people, so I don't know if that is that the same. Do you
Yeah.
get that
Well, I
same
think.
yeah, that same vibe?
Well, I think that. So my niece, who's 21, um, went to the military. She took a year off, went to the military. My nephew's 14, so he wants to go to school, but also he's been researching careers and what he wants to do, content creation. Like he's there right in the information. So he's bringing up discussions with me or topics with me, but maybe that push is not there so much anymore because they see the different alternatives. Like I couldn't see, I didn't know that you could be successful. I didn't know you could make money without going to school.
And that's true. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
for us, success equated to money.
Yeah.
Um, and while I still
Ooh, the
a
ghetto.
piece of me thinks it does, right? I feel
Yeah,
like I am in the ghetto, but I mean, I do think that success can be defined by more than the amount of money that I'm
definitely.
bringing in.
Definitely. It's definitely
At
needed.
each
Don't get me
age.
wrong.
So, absolutely,
Like, let's not even we can
absolutely,
we can want to live this fairy tale life, but no, you definitely need money. You definitely need it, but that's not an education doesn't equal a sustainable life.
right. No, not
You'll
at
get
all.
some money. How far can that money take you?
How far can that money take you, especially when you're
Mm-hmm.
paying $1,000 a month to pay it back? Now I'm in a worse situation than what I'm in a worse situation. Welcome to the DMV. I'm in a worse situation than what I could have been.
That made my stomach hurt because I need to look at. We started paying back student loans what either the end of this month or last month.
I'm not really sure who your lender is, but my payment kicks back in February. However, it's a big jump.
From what it was. Lord.
Listen, I'm gonna say it out loud. They had me paying like $36, and I was like,
Hello?
I give God thanks. Why are they saying they trying to take my $36 to $1,000? How? How? But no, mine don't start till February. I don't know.
Yeah, mine started.
Who you got? Mohela? Mohila?
I had Mohela. I had Mohila, and now I have Ed Services. I think Edfin.
Oh no, I'm still Mohela's still rocking with
Mm-hmm.
me. But and I'm so close to finish, and I'm like, let me go before y'all bump this up. Like I need to be done. I don't have a
Listen,
thousand dollars to give you.
but that's you know what that's not even. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like how far does your money go? If you $1,000 for student loans, like not for rent, not for childcare, not for a car, like your necessities. That's like it's robbery. So you want me
The
to live in?
robbery started when you wanted me to give you $40,000 a year to go to the school.
You want me to live on the street as long as I pay you?
As
Don't eat
long as I pay
anything
you.
but French fries out of the garbage.
Not French fries out of the garbage.
That's what it's
I don't
given.
want
Like,
those. Those are cold.
did you
The
eat though?
mice have already nibbled over them.
Did you eat though? They don't care.
Not you giving me the scraps from the mice.
That's what they want. That's what they want from us.
No, but no, for real. It's hard out here for a meal.
Trying to get his money for the rent.
That's all. I'm just trying to pay
I'm
this high
Charlie.
ass rent.
Yeah, so I think you need to start that class, Adulting 101. I'll
Well,
attend.
somebody told me earlier I need to write a book, so I don't know. And I wrote a song the other day. But that's offline conversation.
Listen, go ahead and start it. Go ahead and start a YouTube channel.
I
And
have a YouTube channel, first of all. And second of
okay,
all, yes, you're right. I probably do need to add to it.
yes,
And my life has taken a significant turn as of late, which you don't even know about. So yes, I have been focusing a lot more on me and what I could potentially do. But yes,
okay,
we're gonna do that right there. That is not
all
for the
right.
world to know.
No, no, no. Look, that's why I didn't even say nothing.
Yeah.
All right, well, Charlie, I thank you. And anytime you want to brace the community with your presence, let me know. Any topic you want to discuss, we can always discuss. And we're gonna do a live one day, but I want it to be like me,
Oh
you,
yes.
and some yeah. My friend Savannah, I love the way she thinks. She just give no f's. Very
I
educated. Very. It comes with a backing, and I can always vibe with somebody who's like, I feel this way because of, and it's not coming from a place of ignorance. So I just
right.
love the way she thinks. So if there's like anybody want to hop on a live about almost any topic, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Charlie Rowe. How can they reach you again?
So y'all can reach me whenever. That's what Shakira said. Did she pay her bill
Together,
yet? Because I
I'm
know she got
ahead.
sued. But
Put her business in the streets. Wow.
hey, it was on CNN, so that's already out there. You can reach me on Instagram at Debonair DEBONAIR_Davis DAVIS. You can look me up on Facebook at Charles Davis. And I am on YouTube, but honestly, I don't know what. I think my YouTube channel is Debonair underscore
Debonair
Davis
did.
as well.
Okay.
Oh, and TikTok. I'm Debonair
You be
underscore Davis. So
talking.
shit, like I said, you can reach me on all the socials at Debonair
Yes.
underscore Davis. Yeah. Look
Got
at
it.
me. Find me. Be with me. Follow me.
Be with him. Bye, y'all.